What it is, what's up? It is the wolf. The wolf's been watching. The wolf is always watching. I always have a eye on the prize from the forest or the jungle or the city or wherever a wolf may be. But I see what it is. So speaking of I, we're going to say Illinois. All right. I seen you guys in the comments. Now, once again, I'm not going to do all 50 states. All right. But Illinois, big in the Midwest, you know, in the backyard. All right, I'll do one more. So we're going to take a look at Illinois and see how they're jamming. Now, as I've showed you guys, a lot of states move almost exactly the same. Some hide the information, which is called obfuscation, because they're hiding your rights, your liberties, your freedoms, and anybody hiding your rights, attacking someone such as myself, an internationally protected person under 12 U.S.C. 411, well, you're committing treason. You're against the United States of America. You're against the Constitution. You're warring against the Constitution. You're warring against the American people. Hmm. You know, I was always told if you can't beat up the bully, find a bigger bully. So I guess it would be logical then if certain people out there are warring against me that I let certain appropriate agencies and people know that America's being warred upon so that they can investigate and find these culprits, these traitors, these counter agents warring against we the people. We should make that known. If you guys have reason to believe that you guys are under some type of warfare, let the agencies know. Let's bring all the monsters to the table. Let's see what happens when a monster is no longer fighting a wolf, but a bigger monster. Hmm. Let's see what happens when the lights turn on, shall we? With that being said, guys, take care of yourselves. Stay healthy, stay aware of what's going on. And if you wouldn't mind, hit that bell, like, subscribe. Let's get into it. So, once again, Illinois, good people. This is the last one I'm going to do before I go on my little break, my hiatus. All right. Because your boy's getting tired. All right. It's the end of the year. It's time for me to relax, blow off some steam, let all this just go to the side of the road and walk the path. All right. So yeah, even my girl's like, "You sure you're gonna do that? There's so many other people up and coming and doing your thing now, and this and that." And I was like, "There always will be. That's the point. I was never meant to do this forever. I'm not trying to be 80 years old still on here. All right, guys, let me tell. Huh, what happened? Whose finger is that? Diddy? Is it Diddy? So, but yeah, I'll still be in the game, guys. But like I said, join me over on Badwolf Unrestricted. That way I can talk about everything. Like I said, this channel's not going anywhere. We're going to leave the information up. I'm still going to be doing consultations. Just going to take some time off and I'll still be doing videos, just not as many. All right. Doing as many videos as I do a month gets tiring. I got to learn some new stuff, read some more books, have some new fresh things, new concepts, new ideas, new angles. And of course, I still have some processes in the wake. So yeah, once I get through those successfully, then I'll bring them to you guys even more so. So, oh yeah, Illinois. Let's take a gander. All right. Hopefully everybody's doing good. Hopefully everybody's well and healthy. If you guys want some of my thoughts on health, go check out jamesclovett.com. I've got health videos on there for anti-aging and certain other things of that nature. Can't say too much on here because they get all. So if you want the private videos, jamesclovett.com. All right. All right. So Illinois code, we're going to start at the gate here with 625 ILCS 5/3-402. Vehicles subject to registration. Exceptions, including non-resident exemptions. So when you read the title, do you see how they lightly tried to obfuscate it? They just have vehicles that are subject to registration. Oh, ha, 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 ha. Oh, ha, ha, ha. Right? And then they kind of slide in, oh, well, there's some exceptions in here, and including non-resident. So once again, have they been updating this to try to hide the word non-resident because they watch my videos? Oh yeah, I know you guys watch my videos. Your ship is not as tight as you think it is, states. There are people in your ranks, and the cat is out of the bag. I'll say it. I won't mention names or people or even departments that feed me information from time to time. But we'll just say this, Austin Powers. There are people in your ship that share information, so I know you guys watch my videos. But see, that's okay because the cat's out of the bag once again, or the wolf. We all know now that no matter what you guys do, no matter how you guys obfuscate the information or try to hide it or downplay it or reword it, you're still going to have something in here where it says except, exemptions, exceptions, non-resident, private vehicle, private registration, foreign registration. Now, I'm sure you guys would love to get rid of that, but you can't. Because if you get rid of the section and there is nothing on it, then it's even easier for us to do it because you don't have any statute and code on it. This isn't ultimate law. You think this is the supreme law? No. You can call it your internal law for your people, your state, but even within your same geographical area, the Constitution applies. So this is not superior anything. This is a guideline. Ultimately, this is for a 14th Amendment U.S. citizen, which is a public person, a public trustee, public officer, not a national, not a state citizen. This doesn't fool, well, I guess maybe it does fool regular people. So let's see what it has to say. Make sure I got my volume on. Okay. All right, big baby. Read it from the top. Show me what you're working with.
625 ILCS 5/3-402, vehicles subject to registration, exceptions, including non-resident exemption. 1. A non-resident owner, except as otherwise provided in this section, owning any foreign registered vehicle of a type otherwise subject to registration hereunder, may operate or permit the operation of such vehicle within this state in interstate commerce without registering such vehicle in, or paying any fees to, this state subject to the condition that.
Okay, so let's break this down. Let's look at this paragraph here. Or is it one sentence? Looks like it might be just a long run-on sentence. Yeah, okay. So on the legal level, a non-resident, so this would be your entity, which is not registered, not domestic to the U.S. corporation, but based in either another country or the United States of America, because America, by law, the United States is foreign to the United States of America in relation. So though they're in the same, so the United States Corp is in the United States of America's family. Let's not forget that. Who's the daddy? Who gets the daddy piece of chicken is America. The United States Corporation is foreign for legal reasons. Those are two separate entities. So when you base your things in America, like an irrevocable trust or another nation or something private or your own entity created with a foreign name, etc., it is the non-resident because it has not been resided, resed the identity. If you res the identity, that means to remove and bring over to somewhere else. If you reside your house, what are you doing? You're putting on new siding, so it looks new, it looks different. It's not the same thing. Similar, not the same. So either you resided and entered your information from the private to the public, or they resed your identity. So a non-resident owner, which would be your trust, you could be this, but you would have to create an affidavit of saying you're not a resident of the state of Illinois because they tainted your name when you decided you wanted to be a resident. Why do you think they asked you for that mail at the DMV, public entity, at the bank, public entity? Almost said enemy. Well, yeah, there's that. Why did they ask you for that piece of mail with your all capitalized name on there? The topography of your name was in all caps on the state level, not the government level. On the state level, they asked for it on because why? The bank and the DMV are all registered through the state as corporations, which means they are franchises of the state. The state is for profit. The state also operates like the other states of under the U.C.C. They do commercial, they're for profit. They operate in the public as a public trustee. They created their own little bubble that's invisible, but it's over the same land that the Illinois state uses. They put their stuff on top of it. That doesn't mean they're superior. They're just building on top of what's already there. The foundation of the Constitution and the free natives of the several states. GPO Style Manual, Section 5.23. So they asked you to reside because under 8 U.S.C. 1401A, 8 U.S.C. 1101A 22B, or A and B, you, the national, born natural as an Illinoisan, Wisconsinite, Floridian, Californian, Texan, your birthright was the natural part, the state citizen. Then by law, something man-made, they gave you the ability to reside or to be declared or depict yourself as a 14th Amendment U.S. citizen. It is your choice. They can't do it for you, otherwise it would be fraud. So they asked you for it. You went home and got that piece of mail. That name in an all caps state, which is conspicuous format. UCC 1-201 definition section. That name on the state level under the UCC is a legal person. Essentially, they gave you or you created a business with your same name. The zip code then brought you into the federal jurisdiction. So you're a federalized citizen, member of the states, subject also then to the federal. When you should have been their boss and stayed in the private, all of them. You as a private citizen, as a national, are the boss of everything around you in the United States and United States of America. You are the superior. When in private capacity and you know how to operate and use it and enforce it. Yes. All of them who work in the public are inferior, even police officers. They are subject to their boss. Their boss is subject to the state. State is subject to the people. The people are the ones who created the Constitution and the laws. The creation cannot be more powerful than the creator. So they asked you to reside of your own free will and accord using your legal right to then be considered a resident of theirs, a member. You joined a gang called the public, but it's really a PMA. It's a private members association that's so big, it's called the public. All right, let's move on. So, except as otherwise provided in this section, meaning other places that maybe something different may be said, owning a foreign registered vehicle. So, you're going to register, okay, your vehicle to something foreign of a type otherwise subject to registration. So, they're saying that normally you should probably be subject to registration because you're in our geographical area, but they don't own the geographical area. They only own you if you register your vehicle to them. Otherwise, there wouldn't even be anything like this. They would say, yeah, all the vehicles are ours. They didn't buy it. They didn't give you any consideration. They didn't form any business or set a contract. They don't own you. We abolished slavery. So cute talk you got here. I'm sure somebody got paid to type this up this way. Don't think they just put it up. Somebody on my level of intelligence or higher or a little lower sat down and worded this carefully. Doesn't mean it's perfect. I can see mistakes in here, but we'll leave that alone. May operate, this is their word, to operate on something like a doctor or a dentist, right? You need a license. So they're speaking their language. If you're in Rome, they're speaking Roman or Latin or whatever the hell their language is now. I don't know. Or permit. If there's a permit, that's something they can regulate. If it's an operation, that's something they can regulate. That's public. These are public words. These are things that are commercial. They own those things. These are not private words. These are public words. There's a jurisdictional difference. But this is how they have to speak. If you're in France, they're going to speak French. They're not going to English up the words, but they're going to do their best to speak their language, rope you in, try to bring you back in, make you doubt yourself. Oh, I can't do this. I mean, it says operating and permit. We need those. It's because you're not used to speaking private, but they're trying to give you, because by law, they have to provide remedy. They have to provide a way out in everything they do. The law states that they cannot do anything that puts you in a position where you cannot find remedy or get out of or settle the books. Everything, gem drops, if you understand what I just said there. May operate or permit the operation of such a vehicle. They're keeping it bland here, not calling it a motor vehicle or an automobile. It should be motor vehicle. But when in Rome, do as the Romans. So in Brazil, you don't have to call it a Brazil nut. So when in commerce, you don't have to call it a commercial vehicle. We're already in commerce, so they don't have to call it a commercial vehicle. Though it would be okay if they had motor vehicle in here within this state. And they got to capitalize this. That's really talking about the organic, when in fact it should be a lowercase s because they are the corporate. This is state of Illinois, not Illinois state. Unless they're operating under the Constitution. If that's the case, then they can actually speak any types of ways. But all right, remember there's a lowercase s, there's uppercase s, and then there's the all uppercase for the word. Those all have three different meanings. Okay, so now we're modifying things. We're going into what? Interstate commerce. Commerce is public, taxable, administration, regulatory. They can regulate it without registering such vehicle. Or, so they're basically saying this, you can be a non-resident owner, you can be in our area, even though your vehicle's foreign, though it should be registered, you should have a permit for your vehicle while in our state doing commerce without registering such vehicle or paying any fees to us. So instead they jump back and forth, they're like, no, we're not going to try to pull you in. trying to get you into the van with the candy. As long as these can subject to the condition that such vehicle at all times when operated in the state is operated pursuant to a reciprocity agreement, meaning, so what this basically means is that as long as whatever state, country, nation, whatever else that you are coming from, you don't charge us fees, they won't charge you fees. Okay. Such vehicle at all times and operated in this state is duly registered in and displays upon it a valid registration card and plate issued for that vehicle in its owner's home jurisdiction. So this is why you have to make your own plate, not a diplomatic plate. You got to put the name of your entity on the top of the plate. Do not make your plate look like an Illinois plate. Do not make your plate look like a government plate. Do not make your plate look like anybody else's plate but your own plate. They're telling you how to do it. You don't want to be bothered. You don't want to be pulled over. Don't have those problems, even though there are some asshole cops, but not all are bad. Or a sheriff. Y'all can get the smoke too. They're telling you how to operate. Put in generic shit like just private plate doesn't tell them where it's registered to. They need to know. Think of it like a ship on the open seas. See, you guys, some of you guys still don't get it. These people are playing real life Monopoly. They're playing real life checkers or chess. They're playing real life cops and robbers. They're playing real life pirates of the Caribbean. So if you're a ship on the sea and you don't have a flag up and you're sailing around, the open water seas, the law of the seas, anything goes. If you're not close to home and your ship doesn't have a flag that either they respect or fear, you're about to get snatched up. You're about to get got. I got. That's, well, at least that's how we say it from where I'm from. If you put it this way, how about this? Let's take it down a level. Let's say you see $1 million yacht sitting there, no name, no VIN number, nothing traceable on there. You're not going to take it, even if you just sell it. Let's say that some kids, all right, or some old lady is on the boat and she's trying to drive it, but she can't, and you're able-bodied. You're not going to take it. Now, some of you guys would because you're good people, but I know a lot of y'all like this old lady don't need it. Get off, old lady. That's the law of the jungle. Might makes right. It ain't right, but in the moment, unfortunately, somebody stronger, bigger, badder, more carrying the thing, a blick, an itchy, strap, heater, whatever you want to call it. Unfortunately. So the way they're looking at it is if you're in their area and you don't have a flag up, a proper flag, you're gonna get got. So no offense to anybody out there who makes their plates doing this, that, and the other, but I'm telling you what the law states. All the states basically say the same thing. And it's the rule of the high seas. And they don't know if you're in the public or the private. So you need to have a flag on there that tells them what you are. Once again, Lovitica National Government, made my own. Family crest, completely stands out now. Don't have to use UCC 1-308, but it means I'm not contracting. So if they want to go ahead and put this code that they say doesn't mean anything on the ticket, which it does, it automatically voids the ticket. '18 U.S.C. 112, internationally protected person. Registration, validity expiration, exempt. Foreign official, because I made my own government. You can put foreign national, you can put private citizen, you can put non-resident, non-resident dash non-commercial, non-domestic, non-US. They need to know your flag. You look at it as a plate, but it's a flag to your vessel. That's how they look at it. Even if the cops don't understand this information, the judges do, at least the ones who are experienced. Federal judges do. Oh, they watch my videos too. They've been watching me a long time, guys. You guys don't even know. You guys don't even know. But at the same time, they've also been learning too because you think that they're going to sit down and study something outside of their norm. So when my name is brought up as this, that, and the other, they check me out. They watch the videos. Then they go and talk to them to themselves. They clip it. They show it to their legal departments. Oh yeah, I know what happens. The legal department goes, he's right. Yeah, we can be sued. They can do that. I've already had police, chief of police admit, acknowledge, and agree. I'm right. Matter of fact, some of them knew about right to travel before I even got into this game. They just kept it the blue line of secrecy. Don't ask, don't tell. Ask privately, get told privately. Let's get back over to it. Let's finish it up. So your vessel needs a flag. It should not have a bland private on it. You might as well be on the open seas around pirates with a white flag up. You're about to get got. You're sailing in what they consider to be their waters, even though there are waters. But once again, might makes right. You're swimming around sharks. What are you going to do? Hey, sharks, this is my ocean. I bought this. Yeah, good luck with that. Go swim out there with the sharks. You ever notice black people don't swim with sharks? I'm just saying. Just throwing that out there. No offense to my white people. Love you guys. I'm just saying. Yeah, go ahead and tell the sharks you own that part of the ocean and see what they care. Go ahead and tell the police you own that part of the land that they patrol every day. Their belief system is that it's theirs. You're not going to change their belief system. You need to learn to be something the sharks aren't going to either eat or don't want to mess with. That's the law of the water. Do you feel me? Okay. So the vehicle is issued and maintains in such vehicle a valid Illinois reciprocity permit as required by the Secretary of State. Now, most states don't have this. So I guess to the person who told me to do Illinois, I'm doing Illinois deep like take that, take that, take that. Yeah, that ass though. I'm all in you, Illinois. Mm, sorry. Um, but it's good because this is something that I haven't seen. I've seen them say you need to be in reciprocity, mean you need to be in the agreement, but it's saying you need to have. It says the vehicle is issued and maintains in such vehicle a valid Illinois reciprocity permit as required by the Secretary of State. Now, can they really say do this? No, not if you are truly and completely private, because you have the right to use the roads, public or private use. But it is always best to play nice in the sandbox. Like, do you really think like if the sheik of the Grand Hazar comes to Illinois, they're going to pull him over? First of all, they're going to be sued, and you think that they're going to be like, "Well, you need to have a permit." What are they going to do to him? Nothing. He's a diplomat, which is what you are. You have more power than that czar. You just don't know it. The state of Illinois can't tell you to what they can't tell you to do this. They can't force you to this is forcing you to contract unless this is free. If this is free, they can ask this of you. If this is not free, they cannot do that because they are forcing you to contract. You have a right to be 100% private. This would be a lawsuit if they charge for this. But what I would do if you're an Illinois non-resident owner, foreign registered vehicle doing right to travel as an Illinoisan, I would contact the Secretary of State and ask about the permit. Is it free? If it's cheap and you want to be chill, play nice in the sandbox and just pay for it. Should be a one time and done thing. If it's a multi-time and it expires, well, then I wouldn't even bother because that's, I'm going to play nice, but I'm not going to, you know, continue to contract. You cannot, no state can force you to contract, but you move as you see fit. But I would, and if you don't get the permit, then what I would do is create an agreement, put it in your travel binder, send a copy to the Secretary of State, and keep it moving. And it says, and. So really, okay, so the way I read this is right here. Such vehicles at all times operate in the state pursuant to reciprocity agreement, arrangement, or declaration of this state, comma. I'm done. This is what qualifies. I don't have to, okay? Because if you notice here, it says subject to the condition that it doesn't say all of these, it does not say all of these conditions. You do not have to meet all of these conditions. They're bullet pointed. This one, and there. So yeah, they would like you to do that, but it doesn't say anywhere that it's mandatory. It doesn't say all of these must be secured, all of these must be acknowledged. It just says subject to the condition that, and then here's your comma, stops here. But then it says and, so they're going on, meaning there's more stuff. But this is within quotes right here. It stops. And if you really want to go by quantum syntax grammar, anywhere where there is a space like this is dead space, which means you've cut this into pieces. It stops. So, if you wanted to argue that out in court, you could. But they're not asking for too much other than for you to, get the permit. So if you're in Illinois, ask for it. Matter of fact, if you're in any state, ask them if they have the permit. If you really want to just be on Johnny on the spot, contact your Secretary of State and ask if they have a reciprocity permit for foreign residents with foreign registered vehicles. If not, here's mine. I'm going to give you one. Here's my agreement with you. I won't charge you guys fees. You guys won't charge me fees. And it also would be good because then you're putting the Secretary of State on notice that, hey, we've got some non-resident drive or operator or vehicle travelers. Everybody should do this. If you really ask me, to be just because even though other states may not ask for this, this is not a bad measure to let them know, hey, this is what I'm doing. So I tell you, you need to send your agreements out. Tell them what you're doing. You should not be scared doing this. Oh no, oh no. If they infringe on your rights, you sue the state because you're going to tell them, I told you guys. I told the court, I told the DA, I told the governor, I told the Secretary of State what I'm doing. And now your police officers are bothering me. Rack City, bitch. Sue time. You put them on notice. They put you on notice. You put them on notice. Okay, let's finish it up. Like privileges are afforded to Illinois residents, so Illinois residents, their members, by the owner's home jurisdiction. So they're basically just saying, look, we all need to get along. Let's just be cool. Then also under the exemptions policy, manufacturers, transporters, dealers, non-residents, or temporary permit categories are also exempt. So right here, once again, if you look under exemptions and policy, so right here, straight out says non-resident. So putting non-resident on your plate is also not a bad thing. It tells them. And you also want to copy and paste this section along with the exemptions policy section. Have this in your travel binder. Now, they talk about new residents. Time to register, 30 days. This applies to people who want to be in the public, because remember, it's a choice. You don't have to be a resident. If you want their benefits and privileges, to vote and this and that, and your other things, you want to drive. Nothing wrong with driving. Understand this, guys. When I'm talking about this is for people wanting to right to travel. And if you're going to do right to travel, watch all of my videos on it. All of them. Don't watch part of one, slap a plate on there. Wolf, it didn't work. Wolf, I got arrested. Yeah, I never told you that you wouldn't be bothered by some cop or a sheriff or whoever who doesn't understand the information. They were never trained, which is why before you do it, one of the first things you should do, send it out to the Secretary of State. Send it out to your governor, your Congress people, Democrat and Republican. Send it to both of them. Put it on file at your courthouse, your city hall. Should you have to do all this? No. But we're trying to play nice with the rights we have. You don't need to do any of this, really, but you're going to find a lot of problems. Operations without evidence of registration, reciprocity, and exemption clauses. Okay, so let's see what they got to say about this. Oh, I'm trying to print.
Section 3 to 701. A. No person shall operate, nor shall an owner knowingly permit operation of a vehicle upon any highway unless there is attached and displayed proper evidence of registration in Illinois, including I. Valid Illinois registration stickers and plates, or 2. An Illinois temporary registration permit, or 3. A drive-away/in-transit permit issued by the Secretary of State. B. A vehicle commuting for repairs in Illinois. A dealer plate issued by a foreign state may exempt a vehicle from the registration requirement in this section if the vehicle is being operated for the purpose of transporting to a repair facility in Illinois. The driver must provide a work order or contract if asked by law enforcement. C. A person may operate a vehicle that has been properly registered but does not yet have the current sticker, etc., if they carry proof, e.g., printed secretary receipt, that registration was made. Illinois Administrative.
All right. So this one now is about intrastate movements and foreign plated vehicles. Let's see what they say.
Administrative Rule 92 IL Admin, Code Section 1010.730, Intrastate Movements, Foreign Plated Vehicles. A non-resident owner/operator of a non-commercial vehicle may operate it within Illinois for personal or recreational purposes until they become a resident.
Okay, so for Illinois, this code can also be used. This one is plainly said right here. All right. So your first code is this one, but I would also use this one, or you can use one or the other. But what are they saying here? Non-resident owner slash operator of a non-commercial vehicle. So you see here, they're telling you guys, even to the police officers out here, you guys got to at some point in time start to give in and see this for yourself. They're telling you we can't regulate non-commercial vehicles. Some of y'all have never seen these codes. Bet you're starting to wonder now. I bet you're just itching to talk to your commanding officer or the chief of police. Privately, do it privately. They're telling you right here. Non-resident owners or operators of non-commercial vehicles. This is how they say private vehicles. How do we know that? Because it's going to say it in about 2 seconds. May operate within, okay, Illinois. I can't be in Illinois. I can only be within the jurisdictional area that's known as Illinois State. And even still, I'm not in the ground, so I'm never actually in or within Illinois. I can be within the geographical area that's Illinois State, but for me to be within the state of Illinois, I would have to be in their computers and on paperwork. That's the state of Illinois. The state of Illinois is paper. It's a corporation. If you can't find me in said system, then I'm not in Illinois. Now am I? Or your state of Illinois. For personal or recreational purposes. Why? Because they do not control personal or recreational purposes. But if you register your vehicle to them, to the DMV, you're in the state of Illinois. Even if you're only using it for personal recreation, like going to work, going to the store, going to your girl's house, that's personal, private, recreational, leisure, pleasure. But you've converted your vehicle into a commercial vehicle. That's why they can pull you over and bother you, administrate you, because you're not fully personal or private. So it says you can do that until they become a resident. So they took your name. If there was a time where you became a resident, right, of Illinois, right? Then what were you before you became a resident? A non-resident by using their language. And a non-resident is anybody who's not registered to them or a member of theirs. And as an American, you are known as a national or state citizen. They don't use those terms. They don't like those terms. It's like putting a bar of holy soap made by Jesus in the mouth of a demon. It says once you change their address and move into Illinois. So once again, the change of address, if you register with the United States Postal Service, that is their system. But remember, it's your trust or entity or nation or tribe, house, government. Without the zip code, it's private. With the zip code, it's public. So you are still looked at as a resident, but your entity is not. But if you register your entity to them, then you've changed your address. Now it's a zip code and it is a resident. Or become gainfully employed there for more than 60 days and establish an abode in Illinois, then they shall be treated as a resident for registration purposes. So most of you guys have physically done that for yourselves as a living person. But before you did that, you were considered a non-resident, even though you were already there, living at your mom's house, dad's house. You were a non-resident. You weren't on the radar. So they asked you to prove residency, to go from being a non-resident, national, Native American, state citizen in the private to something in the public. Join our gang. We've got brownies. The dark side is great. We've got badges and sashes and shit. You didn't have to, but you wanted to do those things. So here's the thing. So here's why you use your trust, because your trust is a legal person. Corporations are really only supposed to do by law business with other corporations. So your name in all capitalized letters is a business. They're doing business with your all caps name. You believe the all caps name is you. It's not. It is your representative, your representor. You, the living person, are always in the present. It is your representor because you are then considered a resident. The name is the actual resident. You aren't, but by law, you can operate and portray yourself to be, like putting on a Halloween costume. That's not who you really are all the time. So imagine if you never took off your Halloween costume all year round. That's what you're doing when operating as the dead entity, the ens legis, the nom de gore, legal person. That's what you're doing. You wear the uniform of one, you are one. Not physically, but by all intents and purposes and appearance. If you wear a police uniform and walk down the street, people are going to believe you're a cop until real cops show up. And if they don't want you wearing that, they're about to break you off something proper like. But if they're cool with you, which most of them aren't going to be, they're going to let you slide. Hey, he's cool. He's cool. But that's not going to really happen in real life. All right. So, list of exempt vehicles, Illinois reciprocity permit requirements. They do not need the Illinois permit, even though they are foreign plated. Vehicles owned by another state. Vehicles owned by a local government or another state, lowercase s. School buses, vehicles belonging to federal government, tow trucks, wreckers, two-axle farm trucks, semi-trailers, tractors towed, auxiliary axles in combination with proper equipment. So they're telling you here that your normal vehicle essentially could fall under vehicles owned by another state because your trust, your entity, your nation is another state. You could use this code as well. All right. That's it for Illinois or state of Illinois. Remember, guys, see the word of in there. It's not the real thing. The state of Illinois is not the same thing as Illinois state. They're two separate things. So, which one are you in? Illinois state as an Illinoisan, private, tax exempt, Native American, superior, sovereign by the Constitutional's wording, not mine? Or are you in the state of Illinois, where you're taxable, public, de facto, corporate or business, 14th Amendment U.S. citizen, member of the state, federal citizen? Understand, I'm not saying this that either one is bad or either one is all good. What I'm saying is that you have the option to be both. Once again, you want me to prove it? 8 U.S.C. 1401A, Cornell Law EDU, nationals and citizens at birth. Don't believe there's a difference between that? Okay, that's cute. I remember my first beer. So you're going to go to 8 FAM 301.1-1, letter B. Matter of fact, let's wrap up with that one. A lot of people out there don't believe there's a difference between a citizen. Most people don't believe there's even such a thing as a standing in law, that it's a real thing that needs to be recognized and comes with freedoms and rights, called a national. And then some people don't believe that there's a difference between the citizen and the national. So it's weird. So we have to fight everybody. Who wants some? It's fine. We got it. It's okay. So 8 FAM 301.1. Foreign Affairs Manual. Let's ask the government. Hey, government, I know you guys watch mine, especially the Department of State. I know you guys watch me. I appreciate you. Thanks for keeping me safe from all the sovereign um, individuals out there against our freedoms, rights, and you know. So what does it say here? What did I say? 8 FAM 301.1-1, letter B. Okay, well, let's read it.
B. National versus citizen. While most people and countries use the terms citizenship and nationality interchangeably, U.S. law differentiates between the two.
Whoa. So the government, the Department of State is admitting that here, citizen and national, though other places are they use them interchangeably, U.S. law differentiates, meaning points out there's a difference between the two. Huh. The wolf is right again. Huzzah. Carry on.
2. Under current law, all U.S. citizens are also U.S. nationals, but not all U.S. nationals are U.S. citizens.
Okay. So right there to my police officers, right there to my judges and lawyers and attorneys and haters and trolls and punk bitch motherfuckers on YouTube who don't like me. Here's your proof. Suck it. Just put it in your mouth. In your mouth. U.S. citizens. So even you cops, even you judges, even you lawyers, when you're not in public capacity at work, you are also, can you read, are also U.S. nationals. Right there. Nah, boo boo. Stick your head in doo doo. I haven't said that one in years. Oh my God, that's hilarious. And then it goes on to say, but not all U.S. nationals are U.S. citizens. So they're saying that some nationals out there are not operating as citizens, but this is a double entendre because there's two types of nationals. There's the non-citizen U.S. national, and then there's the non-U.S. citizen national. So there's two different types. We are the nationals of the United States and the U.S. nationals. But there's a second type right here, the U.S. non-citizen national. We are the primary. These people over here in Samoa and Swain are the secondary. Here's their code. I had to correct the Department of State. Where is it? Right here. They had the wrong code right here. And believe it or not, Washington, D.C. has their own nationals not listed here because they are their own entity. They're in the family, but they're not under our jurisdiction. They're not one of the 50 stars on the flags of America. So technically, I don't know. Well, once again, they are their own thing. So that's probably why they're not listed here. But if I was them, I would have it listed there to break down so people know what they are. Because if they are considered U.S. citizens and they are, then even the citizens in D.C. get our nationality because the law says all U.S. citizens are also nationals. So people born in the District of Columbia are also nationals. So if I were to legally look at this, I would say the Department of State, unless I'm not seeing their section, you guys would be guilty of leaving out the District of Columbia and the relationship that we have between them with that. It's not mentioned here, but they do get it. Unless I'm wrong, you guys are more than welcome to send me a letter from the Department of State and say that I'm not accurate on that. I'm usually only wrong 3 times a year, and this ain't one of them. Because if you can be born in the District of Columbia and be a U.S. citizen, then those citizens are also granted U.S. nationality. So they really should be a section here. But anyway, not to nerd out. Whatever. It's not my concern. I'm only concerned about you guys here. So whatever. So once again. All right. And for the record, let's do the last little bit here for those people who still yet, once again, don't believe, even though you just seen right here, the national is a real thing. But let's tackle the Illinoisan thing. All right. What is that under GPO style manual PDF? We'll go to 2000, maybe. Section 5.23 in the GPO, the government's manual. Under nationalities, once again, no, I didn't want that one. Yep, stay here. All right, so once again, let's break down the etymology of nationalities. Nationalities means more than one, plural. So this also means national. So here you go. So we are nationals. So this means multiple nationals. When you have multiple nationals, that's nationalities. But the root word of national is nation. So you have a nation. The root word of nation is nati, which means native. Root word of native is nat, which is natural. So in designating the natives of the several states, so this is how they describe America without saying America, the several states. And here they're talking about the organic, so they capitalized the S, which is why a lot of these states they're talking about Illinois, and they say the state. Well, okay, are you talking about the organic where we have our constitutional rights, or should it be a lowercase s or all capitalized to be the corporation? This is the organic. So if you're born in Illinois, let's see, reverse engineering here. Well, if you guys call yourselves Illinoisans or Illinoisan, then that means that this is one of the following forms. So it's a form, it has standing in law. It's in the GPO style manual. The government puts this out. So it has standing in law, so it's a real thing. This is how they describe America in the private, the organic. And it also says the natives. It doesn't say the citizens. You're a native. Come on, y'all. Y'all don't see this? It's just me? Yeah. No, you've seen it. But what are you going to do with it? That's up to you. I'll talk to you guys later. Don't forget to hit that bell, like, subscribe, on the way out. Peace.